another episode of Skinner's Outdoor Adventures podcast and video blog. I hope you enjoy our content that we are about to share with you today, so stay tuned. Skinner's Outdoor Adventures video blog and podcast. Yes, you heard that right. We're trying something new here. Been watching some of the other guys do it. Wanted to give it a try as well, where we're going to start sharing our content on YouTube that we also share on our podcast. So what's that mean? Well, that means we're going to try and share some pictures, some video, but also still kind of talk about things so we can use the audio in our podcast as well. So let us know what you guys think on our Facebook page and on our YouTube page, and leave us comments on this stuff so we can see if this is something you guys like or not. Well, without further ado, let's get going. As you've seen recently, if you've been following us on social media, you've seen the Land Cruiser had a major breakdown a couple miles from home, where we ended up in the driveway with it setting precariously with the driver's side tire setting on an angle. Got into it last weekend. Wanted to share what we kind of found last weekend with you guys. Wanted to get out here sooner, but we had some wicked storms come through here Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Knocked our power out for a while, so we've had to take care of that and take care of some stuff here at home instead. So you can see by the picture here of the spindle that we definitely have some damage here. Looks like the bearing races have kind of froze themselves onto the spindle. The spindle itself is kind of chewed up and chattered up here. We will have to look at replacing that. Here, probably one of the things that we'll have to order, along with the bearings as well for the wheel spindle there. You can see by this picture, this is the brake caliper. The ear on the bottom side of the brake caliper basically broke off at the bolt on the bottom side. So what I found when I pulled the tire off is the top bolt of the caliper was the only thing holding this on. In reality is it was the only thing holding on the tire, because when I pulled the tire off and pulled this bolt and released the caliper, the rotor and hub assembly all came off right in my hands. As you can see by this picture, this is the back side of the rotor and hub assembly. The brake rotors are on the outside, and we're looking inside the hub. There's a little ball of stuff in there, which is probably pieces and parts kind of molded together from the brake or from the bearings themselves. You'll see here in a minute, I have a picture of the end of the axle shaft completely smooth. That is supposed to fit inside this hub assembly on the outside flange and hold everything together. With how smooth that axle shaft is, tells me that this flange is probably a mess inside. So that would probably have to be replaced, the outside flange. I'm hoping the hub doesn't have to replace. I'm hoping we don't find no more damages, but we got to tear into this and see what we find yet and get it cleaned up. Here is the end of the axle shaft, or what's called the burr field on this, because this is a solid axle drive shaft system. This should have splines in a line through it that holds a sea washer. The splines are supposed to end up in the hub on the flange and hold everything together. As you can see, this has definitely been rubbing for some time. This isn't something that just failed on us overnight. So we got to replace the burr field on this side for sure. This picture's the axle shaft that goes into the differential. It all looked pretty good, and I was happy with that. There was no gouges or anything majorly problem here. Just got to get it cleaned up and change the fluid in the differential, and we should be good to go. This you're looking at as the knuckle hub here, after the spindle and hub assembly is off of it. This is usually packed with mylar grease. I've got to get this all cleaned up yet. This splits in two yet. There's gaskets on the back side, seals and stuff. We're going to replace all that. Here again, you can see the caliper on the right hand side where it's broke. No major problems in here, just a matter of it's going to get cleaned up and just need to need to replace the seals that are much overdue anyways. So as you can see, we got a lot of work ahead of us yet to fix the Land Cruiser back up. So our plans going forward, I'll just do the rundown. We're looking at replacing both burr fields on both sides. So there's new burr fields in there. It'll get new knuckle bearings, new wheel bearings. It'll get knuckle seals on both sides, replace that. We're going to replace the driver's side spindle for sure. We're going to replace both brake calipers, both brake rotors, and brake pads. Obviously change all the fluids with new Mylar grease on both sides, new differential fluid in the front end. Also, while we're at it, we're going to bring up the back end, take the tires off the back end, replace the back brakes. I have a wheel cylinder that needs to be replaced back there. And I have some seals that need to be replaced as well. That's been problematic for a while. So while it's down, it's time to do kind of it all. We're going to kind of get everything back under control on it, get it fixed up, get some much needed maintenance done that should have been done a long time ago. On top of that, we'll be replacing all the fluids in it, differential fluid, transmission fluid probably again, transfer case fluid, probably do the radiator as well because the radiator's been leaking a little bit somewhere, not sure where, but we're using a little water, so we want to get it ready for winter so it's got better fluid in it again. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we're trying to work through it. I've got some bugs I'm working through yet. Would like to make things a little bit better yet. But if you guys have any comments or want to give me some tips on how to do this a little bit better, please leave me a message and reach out to us. We're always willing to learn new tricks. But for now, this is Chris from Skinner's Outdoor Adventures, and we hope to see you on the trails less traveled.